We are about to jump into the next speaker, which is Stephanie, Manager Director of Virtual Steph. So give a round of applause to
So my name is Stephanie Lopepe, and I'm the founder of Virtual Steph, which is a virtual assistant business. Just by the way, I wish this event existed 5 years ago. Yes. Like oh my word, I get so emotional. Like I've never been in a room with so many virtual assistants. I'm in heaven right now. So I hope you're good to your clients, because I can't be in heaven with incompetent virtual assistant, please. Okay, cool. So we can start the next slide. So I want to talk about my story, right? Which is, I want you to use that as a guideline for you on why you are starting to be a virtual assistant, right? So I have a total of 11 years working experience, and then my business Virtual Steph will turn 4 years old in June, right? So seven years before 4, I was in corporate. So I began as an intern, admin, and then I remained in admin. It's been 11 years now. However, it just looks different every single time, right? So you start as a secretary, then you become the office administrator, then you become the manager. And then I realized I'm sitting in this business for 7 years, and I'm helping my employer run 3 businesses. However, I have nothing to show for it. Have you ever been in a space in your life where you've got the skills, but you have nothing to your name? Not even your phone is to your name. Vodacom owns that, right? So I was like, oh my word, I'm here for 7 years, and people were in the same position as me. They're working bigger companies, they've got cars, they're buying houses, they are doing the things. And me, I'm just like, oh, no. And then COVID happens. COVID was like a blessing for some people, and I want to be part of those people say it was a blessing for me, right? It got me to sit down and realize that I am more than just an administrator. I want more in life. I want to do more in life. I want to be more impactful. And I was on Instagram, and then some VA from the US. Just by the way, spaces like this are important because you can connect with people who are in the same space as you. But 5 years ago, we didn't know VAs like this. So we are watching Americans, right? And then we're learning from them, and then we try to personalize it for here, right? So that VA, she's on Instagram, she's saying, if you can do admin, you can become a virtual assistant. And I said, yeah, I've been doing admin for 7 years. What does virtual assistant mean? And then she's explaining. So in my understanding is, you do admin remotely for multiple clients. I said, yes. I can finally go to Discount without asking for permission. You know, I can finally have breakfast with my mom and not feel guilty, right? I can be sick and not have to go in the office because you have to explain yourself or go buy a doctor's note. Don't do that. But that's our experience. I was like, okay, cool. But I was scared. You know, one of my many fears, I mean, we're all great in this room, but I always like to be honest. One of my many fears is doubt. You know, doubt, fear, uncertainty makes me scared. So I sat on Virtual Steph for 2 years because I was like, being freelancing means that you have no guarantee that you make money at the end of the month. You don't work, you don't make money. And sometimes you will work and not get clients. So I'm like, okay, I'm complaining that this is small, but if I leave this, that means I have nothing, right? So I spent 2 years in the learning loop where you're just researching. And then when the business was scaling down, they gave us the option to be like, would you like to continue in the new structure, what. I said, this is the Lord giving me an escape. If I don't jump now, I will never move. So that's what you guys have done for this industry. You have taken the leap of faith, whether you're at an agency or you are self-employed, you have taken the leap of faith that I need to move today for a better tomorrow. Because me being stuck was worse than whatever I didn't know. whatever the uncertainty is. So, and I chose uncertainty than to stay miserable, right? When you're miserable, you don't perform, right? When you don't like your clients or you don't like the industries that you are assisting in, you don't perform. And I was like, I'm tired of being miserable. I'm tired of crying. I'm tired of watching other people move when I know I'm much more better than them. If I'm being honest, my clients are very happy. Why? Because I know I love what I do, right? Virtual Assistant allows Leander to say we are transformationals. Imagine the work you do for your client sells out their coaching program. Your clients gets recognized in the industry because of the work you are doing behind the scenes. Now, why would I not want to be part of that and just stay stuck because I'm guaranteed an income at the end of the day? So I wanted to build something for myself that provided freedom of time. I really, oh my word, 9 to 5 is the ghetto. Oh, ghetto is not right, but that's the word I want to use. It's the ghetto. It just didn't work for me. I was so stuck in. And I was like, I want to be able to go anywhere I want without asking for permission. I wanted freedom of movement, which is the same thing, right? And I also wanted financial freedom. If I'm being honest, even when I started part-time, it felt right. But when I went full-time 3 years ago, the money that I made for one client is the money that I was getting paid at my job. And I'm working less hours. And I had to do a lot of self-forgiveness. I'm like, imagine if I jumped 10 years ago. Imagine if I jumped 5 years ago. Do you understand? Being a virtual assistant, like I always tell people, freelancing gave my life back. In general. Like imagine guys, you get an invoice that gets paid, and that's what you used to get paid for waking up every single day, being in office from 8 to 5, still be available on your phone after work. Like that's insane. So I was like, you know what, I'm staying here. Me, I don't care if I'm asleep at midnight trying to get clients, trying to meet my deadlines, because the freedom that virtual assistant gave me, no one can give me. Or no one tried to give me, right? And then now, this is what I want you to remember. Your why is where your story is built. Why are you trying to be a virtual assistant? I know we're not supposed to say, do it for money then. You can say your why is money, but that money has to be bigger than you. So you want financial freedom, not just for you, but for your family. Then that why is big. Don't say, I want to be a virtual assistant to make money. Say, make money for what? Because I need to pay for my brother's school fees. I need to help my parents rent, or we need to start buying homes. I want to go to Cape Town. Have you been to Cape Town? Yeah. I live this side. Cape Town is expensive, but it's the best city. I want to go, right? You know, when your why is bigger than you, it works. So figure out, why are you trying to be a virtual assistant? For me, besides time of freedom, money, and stuff like that, a lot of business owners hate admin. As Leander said, business owners are overwhelmed. It's so true. Imagine waiting 7 days for an invoice. Why? I might as well move to the next service provider, right? Business owners are overwhelmed. They hate admin. So your why is you want to empower business owners effectively run their business. Admin is what makes a business. Being able to submit documentation, being able to retain your clients, etc. Customer service, right? A virtual assistant is not just normal admin. You guys are customer service experts. When we inquire to a business like, I don't know, ALX, we send an email. I shouldn't have to wait 24 hours for ALX to get back to me. If ALX has a virtual assistant, I should expect a response in less than 2, 3, or 6 hours, right? Why? Because when I'm asking ALX a question, I'm also asking UJ a question. Whoever responds first to me is the one taking me serious, right? So your guys, when you take customer service for your clients seriously, you are helping them run their business. So understand, why am I trying to be a virtual assistant? Okay, next one, content. Whoa, guys, content. I know we don't want to be on camera. We don't have to be vain. You know, when I first started as a VA, I was the first one in my friend group. Luckily, you have made new friends. Please take each other's number, be each other's support system. Because being a VA is very lonely, right? When we're saying content, it means that you have to put yourself on camera. I'm giving you access to my business, access to confidential information. I need to know your face. I need to know how you sound. I need to know what are your thought process, what you think about this industry. Maybe a VA for medical doctors. On your LinkedIn, you need to talk about hot topics, right? About medicine or whatever it is. You need to talk about how doctors, customers, whatever it is. Content is part of your business asset. Especially if you're freelancing. Also, actually, let me take that back. Whether you're freelancing or whether you belong to an agency, content is important. Why? Because you are building a public profile, right? Sometimes we have access to 10 virtual assistants, but I'm just gonna go on LinkedIn like our first speaker said, we'll stalk you on LinkedIn. Out of your 10, if there's only one of you guys who's active on LinkedIn, not just commenting, sharing your own original thoughts, not saying, this is insightful, no, tell me exactly what you're thinking. I will pick you, why? Because I know you have an original thought. Like you can think for yourself, right? You can process information, you have critical thinking. So content is very important. It helps you build a personal brand. You don't have to be a celebrity. You don't have to do what. But if you yourself as a VA, you make a decision today, I'm going to have my business page. Please separate your business and your personal page. I mean, we don't care what you think about Amapiano, not my problem, right? So have a business page on LinkedIn, have a business page on Instagram, have a business page on search engine platforms, where if I put in virtual assistant or if I put in admin support in medicine, I can find your page faster, right? You are putting in there not because you are looking for a job, because you are creating a personal brand that can differentiate you amongst your peers. We are all collaborators, but we have our own identities, and content helps you achieve that faster. It's cheaper. All these platforms, they are free, right? They are all free, so you have no excuse to not have a public profile out there, especially on LinkedIn. Why? Because that is where money is at. People on LinkedIn who are decision makers, they are not broke, but they are looking for strategic business partners. So you as a VA, are you a strategic business partner, right? So you can do that via LinkedIn. What else I want to talk about? Content. Oh, I want to ask you guys, what is your understanding of content? Tell me. What do you understand when we say by content? Yeah.
I think sharing your personal story, like storytelling.
Storytelling. So for you, content is storytelling. Yes.
Positioning.
Positioning and yeah.
Showcasing skills.
Showcasing your skills. Yeah, we can go to the next slide. So for me, it's the same thing. I say content is any information shared online with a purpose to storytelling, educate, inform, entertain, whatever it is. So you gotta figure it out. You are creating content for three things. You are creating visibility. We need to know that you exist. Visibility also creates credibility, and credibility creates trust, right? And then from there, you are creating exposure, like it's all happening here, right? So I want to say that with Virtually Steph, my community helped build my business, right? That's why I love platforms like this, free information. So people knew who I was, they knew my thoughts, and then I said, guys, I'm finally starting my business, this is what I'm doing. And then from there, I was already visible. However, my business page helped me create credibility and trust, right? Because technically, we like you, but we don't know if you're suitable to take on our business, right? So I started to share content. Oh, this is how the structure of your emails must be. This is how invoicing must be. This is how, as a service provider, maybe a makeup artist, your system needs to be X, Y, and Z, so that people inquire from you, they get an invoice, you follow up, whatever it is. All of that transaction I can do for you, right? So because I'm already smart, right? People say, oh yeah, okay, she's smart. And then it helped me create exposure. I'm not connected with celebrities. I don't know these people. Me, my best clients, they are not, okay, well, they are well known. But when they met me, I was not in the circle. It's just the content that I put out there helped me stand out for my peers, right? So content is very important. Go to the next one. So what type of content, what type of content should you create? I put Q1, Q2, what for the new virtual assistant. But if you're already experienced, you probably are gonna mix it up each time, right? It's the new year, you guys should get a lot of brand awareness, right? Reintroduce yourself to your audience, who you are, what you do, what are your skills, who are you serving. You need to tell people who is your ideal client, right? Your content must speak. When you look at Virtually Steph, let's say right now, because I'm now on YouTube, right? I've positioned myself is that you need to be a high earning client who's looking for structure in the business. So my current high paying clients, I've created SOPs for them. We've restructured their departments, all those things. So I'm no longer a task-based virtual assistant. I'm now an operations-based virtual assistant. So in order for that to happen, all these things need to be visible, right? You need to say who you are, credibility, you need to share client testimonials. Somebody said they were volunteering, so they haven't had work experience, right? But in terms of testimonials, you can ask the person you're volunteering with, how has the experience been working with you? What are the results, or how has the business or company improved from working with you? You use that as client testimonial. For me, I started reaching here in year 2 for Virtually Steph. I landed my first coaching client. She left a marketing agency, and then she's like, you know what, I want to work with a freelancer. You know, that's the best part about being a VA. You have a competitive advantage to your clients. Agencies, there's too many people there, right? There's like, you probably have 10 people in an agency, the client feels unseen. But when you are freelancing, you give the client your attention, right? Right? So the client was like, I am tired of requesting meetings, I don't get reports, whatever it is, I need a solopreneur to be on my team. And I was like, okay, cool. And I was nervous because I've never worked with a coaching client. But the thing about VA, the structure and the systems remain the same, right? So then we started working with the organic content marketing. We grew the page of the client. I think she was on 700, then we went to 3,000, right? In that 3, the client sold out. Each time we did a coaching cohort, she sold out her coaching cohort. We would say, okay, we are only aiming for 10 people, and then 20 people sign up, right? 20 people sign up, all those 20 people, they are paying 10,000 Rand each. That's how much money I've already made the clients, right? And then from there, the clients is like, their email response got better because I'm there, right? I'm helping with the emails, stuff like that. Then I realized, oh, this is nice, but how do I put words to it? And I realized I went from a task-based virtual assistant to a strategist without knowing, right? Remember, we don't have this information. We are just working. So as we work, we slowly start to put words to what we are doing. So I was like, oh, okay, I'm not just a VA, I'm a strategist. Okay, I'm a content strategist. I was like, yes! And then the client was like, Stephanie, and I didn't know, we're at an event, and then the client was telling the speakers, oh no, Stephanie helped me make 20 times more money than with my previous agency. I said, I make people money. That's what I do. Okay, so then you start to move up, right? And then for that to happen, remember, when you're working with your clients, you do your job, whatever, don't forget you still need to talk about it on your socials, right? So you start to do that, then you sell the transformation and all the products, right? That's the content for sales, right? So that's what I talk about now. It's like, I help my clients make money through X and Y, right? You sell the process. On my YouTube channel, I share the process of how we do things, right? Why? Because we don't know who you are. We're just going based on the information you are giving us. And people trust people who sound like you are confident in what you're saying. If you are lying, we will tell. Because you're like, oh, I don't know. because the results are true. I did help my client make money. We did sold out. My client got to reprint some of her books. Those are true, so we post about this. And then lastly, establish your authority. And the type of content, like I said, on LinkedIn, you need to start to talk about hot topics, right? So admin, you can say, I need business owners to understand that a social media manager, a social media strategist, and a content creator are not the same thing, which is true. Those are separate jobs, but business owners, they don't know that they're separate jobs, right? So now you are saying you're a social media manager, but you're expected to do everything, other people's job. You're expected to be a videographer, to be a photographer. You're expected to be a graphic designer. So you can do that as a hot topics and be like, let me educate you what all these separate roles do, and then you link it to you. What do you do in there? Maybe you are a content strategist. You don't create content, but you give off ideas, right? You know social media, you know the algorithm, you understand certain industries. You can be like, this is my thoughts on this XY. Like, just tell us what you think, and then you start slowly becoming a thought leader in your industry. Every single guest that spoke today, they are thought leaders in their industries. We have recruitment, we have agencies. How we know that? Because when they stood here, they shared free information that makes sense, and you can relate to it, and now you have language to the information you know. Okay, move on. And then now, we're going to talk about revenue models, pricing. I see no one is talking about pricing. I wonder if I could go back to the next one. No. Okay, I did put pricing. Okay, cool, so go back to the other one. I want to put numbers, right? Because I don't want you to charge 80 Rand per hour for virtual assistant. What is that? Oh my God. Don't do that. I used to be late. Though I was not on 80, I think I was on 150. And then I said, even Canva costs more than 150. I can be charged 150. You see? Okay, cool. So with pricing, you need to figure out, usually when you start, you do hourly rate, right? You say, I have 10 hours and this is what I charge, right? Or you could do packages. You could be like let's say you're a social media VA, right? You could do packages. You could be like, I charge for content creation, I charge for copywriting, like writing captions is copywriting, right? Yes, I know now we have ChatGPT, what, but sometimes we are tired. We are tired of reading, absolutely. We are tired. So you can be like, I can do that here, right? You charge for copywriting. And then maybe you can charge a package for community management. You know, when somebody is responding to your comments, like in the post, that's a community manager, right? They're responding to comments, they're responding to DMs. All those are things you can offer, right? And please, ChatGPT is there to help you, but don't offer things you're not passionate about, right? Offer what you're passionate about and use AI to empower you. That's what I wanted to say. Somebody asked, will AI replace us? Zianda said, absolutely not. And I agree. AI can never replace me, honey. It's not in my brain, but AI is your business partner, especially as a virtual assistant. AI will tell you what your peers are charging. AI will tell you how to improve your offering. AI will give you language when a client is asking you a question, you're like, hey, me, I only have 30-year university. I don't even know what this client is saying. You put it on AI and they need to help you understand the request better. So use AI as a business partner. And use AI to empower your business. Why? Because some clients, they want the human touch with their clients. They don't want an AI responding to emails. They want a human to be like, we apologize for the inconvenience clause. This is the solution. Are you happy? Can we move forward? AI cannot do that, right? So AI will only replace you if you don't use it. So AI helps me run my business, and if you don't use AI, I will take your clients. Why? Because my turnaround time is faster. AI helps me write proposals faster. AI helps me restructure my SOPs, right? AI helps me do the research. Even with pricing, I remember when I landed my highest paid client, which I was very happy about, it was time. You know, I asked AI, what are people charging to be an operations manager or an operations expert in the US, in the UK and in South Africa. Like people who are employed, why do they charge? AI gave me figures, then I landed on a figure I was comfortable with, right? But I wouldn't have known that figure if I didn't ask AI, right? We don't have access to each other's books, so we don't know what you are all charging. But AI knows what your industry is worth, right? So it will give you information. Then now on your rate, you need to base it on your expertise, like what do you actually do? Are you a task-based virtual assistant or are you an operations-based virtual assistant? Like what do you do? You work, doctors have money. So I hope you are charging real money, right? What is the transformation you're providing to your clients? Like when people take on your service, do they sleep well at night, right? Can they go on vacation and they know you are good, right? What transformation are you providing? Listen, oh my word, it was the best moment. When I knew my work is making clients money, I said, increase the fee. Increase the fee. Your ideal client buying power. Let me tell you a story. When I started, I used to say, I'm a virtual assistant and I help entrepreneurs get their time back. And I help small business owners get their time back. Do you understand when you say small business owners, you are inviting trouble because most of them don't got no money. They don't want to pay you. They want you to charge 80 rand an hour when you should be charging 500 rand an hour. Like what is that, right? So when I said something is wrong with my messaging, then I said I help established businesses, right? Implement systems and structure in the business. Best believe I did start to get real money because now I change how I'm presenting and who is my ideal client, right? So does your ideal client have buying power? Do they actually have money? Or you can be like one of our brothers asked, what about if I just want to help startups? Good for you. I think it's good to be a person who gives back to the community, a person who empowers the business space. But you must be able to do so without running at a loss. Empower people, yeah, it's good, but why must you be poor doing that? Right? I am so sorry for using the word poor. And then your rate is attached to your personal development. We can talk, we can do whatever we want. If you yourself don't see that in you, it doesn't matter. I didn't see the light in me. I'm stuck in this company for 7 years getting paid nonsense. But I didn't know. I just thought, it's just a small, what must happen? The moment you start to take your personal development seriously, right? You will believe in the amount you put on an invoice, right? If your invoice, let's say, a client comes, I want you to do X and Y, and you are supposed to charge, let's say 15,000, as a retailer, like every month, I'll charge you 15,000 to help run your business, right? Through administrative support, however that looks like, right? But you are not good here. You start to say, who's gonna pay 15,000 for a virtual assistant? I'm not even in the office every day. I don't work 8 hours a day. And then you reduce the 15, you say 7. It's not the client's fault, right? It is a you problem. You are the one who put the figure. And when I knew I had a personal development problem is that I charged a client such a low fee, and the client, she took the fee, and then she said, Stephanie, I would have not have paid this amount. This is what you should have charged. And then I realized the more I worked with low fees I was miserable. Then I asked myself, these people are not forcing that payment. I'm the one who gave the rate. So what is the problem? Personal development. You have to do inner work. I know it sounds white or bushy, however, but the inner you, if the inner you is not okay, your business will not thrive, right? Okay, next one. Let's talk numbers. Yeah? Oh, okay, fast. Why fast? These people are sitting here for a long time. Okay, cool. So your hourly rates, you can, so I always go to the best VAs. The best VAs are found in the US and the UK in terms of how they do business, right? They don't charge, they charge anything from 20 US dollars per hour, right? Anything up to some even charge 100. It just depends, right? And then in SA, you probably go from anything from 200 rand to 500 rand, right? It just depends on what are you offering. Also, can your client even afford to pay you 200 rand an hour, right? Can your client afford you to pay you 500? Me, because I started scared, I said 2, and then the client will complain, then I'll go down to 150. Then I'll be upset. That was 4 years ago. I don't do that now. It's either you can afford it or you can't. So keep it moving. Okay? Yes. So, and then you have to look at your packages. So short-term packages are anything that's 3 months, right? It's like project-based. Maybe my first pageant client, I think we had the grand finale was in October, and I only joined the team 3 months or 2 months. So she was first a short-term client, then we worked for 3 months, and because they liked how I work, it became a long-term client, which is now more than 6 months, right? So as VAs, depending on your packages, you can charge anything from 10K to 18K to even more. I'm putting the dollar sign because you could get an international client, right? And they say, help me with X and Y. Ask ChatGPT. What do people in that country charge, right? And then you're like, okay, cool. Let's say VS, they charge $1,000, right? They're coming to you because they don't want to pay $1,000, but I need you to not go below 600. Because now they're taking advantage of you, right? So if they don't want to pay 1,000, then you can play between 6 to 8, right? I mean, like you get a $200 discount. Yeah. So now, and then I said that our growth depends. Oh, one of the people here, I don't know if it's Yanda, I think it was Yanda. She said that don't be a journalist, right? Somebody who does everything. So usually when you start, that's where you start, because you don't even know what you're good at, right? But in 6 months, 1 year, you start to identify exactly what you're good at. Maybe you are good at video editing. That's your expertise, right? So now you don't do content creation. So you don't do content strategy. You do video editing, right? So it will just depends on your growth. How long have you been doing this? Do you know what you're good at, and can you put a price to it? Okay, next one. Fast. Scaling. Is the video okay? No, it's fine. Okay, so scaling, for most businesses, scaling is how much money you make, expansion. I define scaling on the transformation you bring to your clients, right? When I was just doing admin, I'm just helping you run your business effectively. But when I became a strategist, the transformation is the client is selling out on the programs, the client is making more money. So you gotta decide when you're scaling, are you a task-based, which is usually where we all start. We are all task-based first. Then we move on into strategies, result-based. What are the results is your work giving to your clients. Then you move on to systems and team manager, which is I'm between these two. Right? I'm a business manager to this client, but as a business manager, I've managed to do a lot of operations and system restructuring for the client. So you gotta decide what stage of your virtual assistant career are you at. And the faster you learn, the faster you grow. So you could go from here to here in like 2 years. Literally, you could go from here to here in 2 years, here in year 3. Oh, people who are like crazy people, they're fast learner. This can be done in less than 2 years. You gotta decide what is scaling for you, what is the transformation you're providing to your client, what are the results your clients are receiving. Okay, work-life balance. You know, when I said I want to claim my time there, was I lying to myself? Being a VA, especially when you're starting out, it feels like you're working the whole day, right? You have to shoot content, then you have to do deadlines, then you have to, so you have to create boundaries, right? Oh no, first, you have to structure your day, time block. Decide in the morning, it's better to do admin in the morning because you want to respond to emails early, whatever it is. And then you treat yourself as a business. So as a business, you also need to have your own content out there, right? So you need to post too, not just your clients, right? I used to not know how to do it. Then I'll just have my clients post my client stuff. And then I realized 1 year passed, I haven't posted anything, right? But I'm working though. It's not like I'm not doing anything, I'm just working. So you gotta figure out, you treat yourself as a business, and what does it mean, right? Work-life balance means that in your contract with your clients, you tell them you're not accessible all the time, right? They should expect a 24 hours response rate. Even some, I've seen other VAs say 48 hours response rate, right? Because you are probably on a deadline here, or let me say it properly, your client's lack of planning now becomes an emergency if you don't have these things in place. If a client knows that after 5 p.m. they will only reach you in the morning, they will reach you in the morning. Or they'll put a note in the email, hey, this is for the morning, right? And then you know you get to it in the morning. So you guys, we are not like, what are those animals on the wheel?
Hamsters.
Yeah, we are not hamsters, we are humans. So you have to have a work-life balance. Some VAs don't work on the weekends because maybe I want to go groove or something. I don't groove, but maybe you do. yeah, because why are you earning money to just, I don't know, you know? Exactly. So you gotta have a life balance, right? Maybe you don't work on the weekends, others do, and they take Monday off. Right? So maybe Monday is not your day, whatever it is. But you gotta figure out what is your structure, what are the boundaries. And also a way to have a work-life balance, it's my favorite thing I always say, is to increase your rate.
Yeah.
People who pay you more money don't have time to pester you. They are expecting you to be a responsible service provider. So you commit to a deadline, you meet your deadline. And once you meet your deadline, they'll leave you alone. Right? So cheaper clients don't know this. They don't know work-life balance, right? Because they want to make sure the 100 rand works. Okay? But clients that are like 1,000 are like, what is that? And you're like, it's fine, I trust you, you got this, you know. I love, you know when I was so happy? When a client, I was so traumatized from corporate guys. I would see clients' voice notes, I was like, ish, I think I'm in trouble. And then the client was like, oh, how are you doing? I was like, trauma response. You see, you like, oh my word, that's my prayer for you guys. Or my encouragement. If you don't pray, I apologize. My encouragement for you guys is that you'll reach to a level where your business is impacting entrepreneurs. Your business is making real money. When I mean real money, means that you need to be able to cover your costs. You have a lot of softwares. You have Wi-Fi. You have, I don't know, transportation. You need to look okay when you're on camera. There's expenses. When a business does well, it means that all your basic costs are covered. Anything that comes on top, you are now making profit, right? So like, take these things serious. Take all these programs they're giving us. Speak to Yondela, Maxine, all these things. Like, there's money, guys. There's money on my word. There's money in this space. But people who are not competent, people who don't know their job will not make that money. Yes. Because clients, oh my word, freelancing clients will fire you without thinking about you. They will let you go. So if you're good at what you do, you price yourself well, you take your digital footprint seriously, this is your space and you'll be good. I think I'm good.